Preparation trumps pressure. Okay. There's not as much pressure because you're prepared. And preparation also gives you confidence. You show up to the room a little bit different. You show up to the interview different. You show up to the podcast different. You show up to the app that you create different, right? If you're going to go pitch your app to somebody, baby, you know it like the back of your hand because you already prepared for it. And it's the thing that separates you. Okay. When you're prepared, you separate yourself from everybody. I mean, Kobe Bryant practiced 4 times a day when he was playing basketball. Most professional athletes practice twice a day. He said, if I double my my time of practicing, I'm going to be 2 times better than the best player. You know what I'm saying? Because if the best is practicing twice a day and I do 4, I'm in that phenomenal. I'm in that greatness, type of level.
Hey, it's Logan Renee of the SOULKATION podcast, the home of all things soul care, a place where we heal, we grow, and we laugh, all while you're building your 6-figure business or CEO career. And now for your SOULKATION announcements. We are having another live class this month entitled Losing the Weight and Keeping It Off, honey. Okay. We've probably all done diets, but how do we keep the weight off? So that's what our focus will be on Thursday, August 29th for our SOULKATION live class. We're going to have a panel talking about how sugar and flour are really just like cocaine and heroin because they're actually made the same way. We're going to talk about maintaining your figure. Should you lift heavy or should you lift light weights? Cardio versus strength training, recovery, pre-pregnancy and post-pregnancy health, and unhealthy foods to just stay away from. We want to see you there. All details will be in the SOULKATION Tribe Facebook group. You can click on the link in the show notes, and we will see you on August 29th. Also, get excited and get ready for the 2021 SOULKATION Retreat. I just want to be the real me. We're going to talk about having a CEO mindset. We're going to talk about liking and loving the woman that you are and forgiving the woman that you were. We're going to talk about releasing self-doubt, unpacking brokenness, okay, and leaving it. We're going to put it back in 2020, okay? We want to see you there. Saturday, August 28th. More and more details can be found at loganrenee.com, and we hope to see you there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the SOULKATION podcast. I am your girl, Logan Renee, back to give you all some insight on what are the top 10 traits of the wealthiest leaders in the world. And this is part 1, so we'll do part 2. I've had the honor of coaching with multimillionaires, being mentored by a billionaire, and people think that people with money are mean, and that's not true. Some of the nicest and sweetest people that I've ever met. And they wake up literally saying, like, whose life can I change? Whose life can I, speak into? I mean, family members. I mean, their intention of their day when they wake up is, all right, whose life am I about to impact? Like, that's their mission. It's beautiful. So I'm gonna give you all some notes that I have in my phone from them, from their mouths, to your heart. I want you all to just apply some of these. And this is part 1, like I said, and there'll be part 2. Straight out the gate is they read a lot. The kids be reading. They just read, and then they find something else to read, then they read something else, and then they probably reread what they read. Okay. Warren Buffett, he reads 6 to 8 hours a day. 6 to 8 hours a day. Now, a lot of us be at work, okay? So we can't sit around and read 6 to 8 hours, but I highly recommend at least 20 minutes a day, whether it's a blog, whether it's, a pamphlet, whether it's, a news article or a book, taking that time to grow, to stretch yourself. I read also a couple weeks ago that ginger helps with your memory and improves your memory, as well as, of course, blueberries is something that people always say. But in order to keep growing, you have to keep learning, you have to keep adapting and adopting different principles and ways of looking at things. Because if not, you'll stay the same, or you'll get senile or even lose your memory. So outside of the things that we put in our bodies is what we participate with our brains, how we participate with our brains, right? And here's some hacks for reading a lot of books, because a lot of people are like, I don't want to read. It's a lot. So I do a lot of audiobooks when I'm cleaning up or when I'm driving in my car. I use my car as a learning machine, instead of a turn-up machine. Unless I'm going to dinner or something, unless I'm going to an event where I need to like, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see, twerking in my chair. But if you're listening to this, you can't see it. But I use my car literally to learn. Okay. Outside of that, I'm listening to a book, I'm listening to a podcast, something that's going to stretch me, right? Because I can't be a coach, I can't be a teacher, I can't be a speaker, and I don't have nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So if that's your industry and your field, it's literally about what you put inside of yourself. Even if it's not, there are other things. If you're a doctor, you should always be reading something, because technology is always changing, right? Nurse practitioners, occupational therapists, right? Even therapy. If you're a therapist, child, people come in with so many different issues, and you got to be able to speak to different stuff, right? But here's some hacks on reading more books, right? At the gate, to save yourself time and energy, I skipped the first part, the foreword, and how my nana helped me save money as a 2-year-old. I mean, sweet, it's cute, but I just skip it. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to the meat of the book. And what I feel like is when I skip the intro, I'm going to read the mind of the author. So I'll get to know the author without reading the author's intro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll read a little bit of the back, but I do. I skip the intro. I go right to the first chapter. Also with audiobooks, which is really dope, is you can change the speed. So I listen to it at 1.5 speed, and you can listen to the book faster. You know what I'm saying? If you go past 1.5 to 2 to 3, some people listen to it at 3. That's really fast for me, and I don't understand what you're saying. And it's no point just to say you read a book if, you didn't learn anything. So I do at 1.5. That's a good speed for me, and you get through the book a little bit faster. Here's another plug. There's an app called Libby, 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 and it's a library app. So I just signed up for the local library in my area, and you can actually put books on your shelf. They call it the bookshelf, and you can get books and you rent them out for, I think, a month or 2 or 3. I know at least a month. And what's so dope is it reads it to you. Okay. And what's even doper than that is free. Girl, when I found out about Libby, I was like, who done kept this jewel from me? Like, it's a lot of books you can get on there. Again, you can put the book on hold. You can get the book for at least 30 days. It's an audiobook, so it can read it to you, and then it's free. You know what I'm saying? I mean, golden. And if you order, what I do on Amazon is I'll order books that are used. They usually don't come like trash. And I'll get books that are $30 for like $4. You got to pay like $4 or $8 for shipping, but $13 is better than $30, right? So I'll always get used books on Amazon. And then what I also do is I'll turn to the back of the book. There's usually 2 or 3 pages, and I'll write notes in the back. So if it's an actionable item, then I'll put like a check mark box. So sometimes when I go back through the book, I'm like, oh, you forgot to do this. You forgot to apply this in your own life. You forgot to apply this in your relationship when you was talking to your man. Or you forgot to do this financial tip or whatever the book was saying to do. It's just like a little reminder to keep you accountable for the things that you read, the things you've already studied, the things you've already learned, and how you can use the book to move you forward. That's another thing. The second trait of most wealthy millionaires, and I got this from our good friend and friend of the podcast. His name is Kevin Eastman. He's the coach of the Boston Celtics. His wife is hilarious. I miss Kevin and his wife so much. He says that preparation trumps pressure. Okay? Preparation trumps pressure. Preparation also gives you confidence, and preparation also is your separation. Okay, so let me read that again. Preparation trumps pressure. Okay, there's not as much pressure because you're prepared. And preparation also gives you confidence. You show up to the room a little bit different. You show up to the interview different. You show up to the podcast different. You show up to the app that you create different, right? If you're going to go pitch your app to somebody, baby, you know it like the back of your hand because you already prepared for it. And it's the thing that separates you. Okay, when you're prepared, when you're prepared, you separate yourself from everybody. I mean, Kobe Bryant practiced 4 times a day when he was playing basketball. Most professional athletes practice twice a day. He said, if I double my my time of practicing, I'm going to be 2 times better than the best player. You know what I'm saying? Because if the best is is practicing twice a day and I do 4, I'm in that phenomenal. I'm in that greatness, type of level. And that's why we love and miss Kobe Bryant for sure. And a lot of people say, if they want to start a lot of people are afraid to do things that other people are already doing. Like people have already done that. And here's the truth. The difference between you and the person or the business that you say is already out there, already have followers, already, making money or whatever, is preparation, consistency, and practice. That's the only separation. When you look at your competitors, what's separating you from them is that they are prepared, they stay in prep mode, is that they are consistent. They keep putting out content. They keep putting out products. They keep creating apps or making their own app better, right? Amazon is always adding some new feature, some new thing, right? That keeps us coming back. And then at the bottom, they'll say, hey, not only since you bought this, somebody else bought this and this. So just put all of this in your basket. It's like, okay, Amazon, y'all run it out, right? But that's the only difference between you and your competition is that they are prepared, that they are consistent, and that they practice. They keep putting their hands on it. People who win, please hear me when I say this. People who win, who we admire, are people who continue. People who win are the people who continue. Look at Beyonce. Beyonce had so many people start with her, right? So many singers that could probably sing Beyonce under a table right now. But she continued. She kept preparing. She stayed consistent. And a lot of people always say, it's Beyonce team. It's Beyonce team. Baby, you can't have no team without the person having a vision and a dream. If Beyonce didn't have the vision inside of her, if she didn't have that grit to say, that, and grit is courage. If she didn't have that courage to say, I'm going to continue. I'm about to put out another album. And let's do this with the album. And then people come in and give her ideas on top of that. There has to be a foundation. There has to be a root. It can't be all the team. They are not making that girl practice. They are not making her run on a treadmill and sing. That is coming from within. If you want to be the best, if you want to keep winning, you got to continue. You got to practice, right? You got to be consistent with it. You got to keep showing up. Yeah, it's hard, but what's easy, that's great, right? Number 3. Oh, my bad. Another thing that Kevin said that I love. Ugh, I live for Kevin, honey. He said you also have to be there before you get there. You have to be there before you get there. And this was from his book, Why the Best Are the Best. That was his book, Kevin Eastman. He said you have to be there before you get there. So what does that mean? You got to visualize yourself. And this is a new practice for me, y'all. I ain't even trying to stunt like she been doing it forever. But I started doing this at the end of 2020. This is what I started doing. I would sit on my floor with my hands open and I would literally close my eyes for 3 minutes and I would visualize myself in a happy relationship. I would visualize myself on stage speaking to thousands of people, visualize myself in a condo overlooking the city. And I mean, literally surrounded. My whole entire house is glass. Like visualize this for myself. 3 minutes. It did not take long. My son hugging my leg, just little things that I want, things that I profess and things that I want. I just go ahead and I visualize it for 3 minutes. It doesn't even take long. I play a little fake meditation music in the background, honey, and I sit on the floor and I visualize it. So you have to see yourself there before you can get there. You have to see yourself in that corner office. You have to see yourself as a person that lives debt free. You have to see yourself as a person that's happy in relationships and that people just want to be around you. You have to see, yourself with that promotion. You have to imagine yourself in that dress that you want to get in. Literally, start off this week visualizing for 1 minute. Put some little fake raindrops on in the background. Get on YouTube and just type in meditation music for 1 minute. Visualize. It's going to change your life. I'm telling you, it's amazing. It is amazing. And I started receiving certain things at the end of 2020 that I hadn't received all year. Sit and just visualize some stuff. Number 3, Suzanne Evans, cannot wait to get her on this podcast. But she said, ask yourself, how are you wasting your time? And how are you wasting other people's time? Leaders are conscious of their time, honey. They be looking at the clock while you talking, tapping their wrist like, hurry up, Shelly. I got something to do. Okay. They are very intentional about their time. Matter of fact, Oprah said something that was really good. She said she sets an intention for every meeting when she starts. The intention for this meeting is ... We waste a lot of times in meeting talking. You know, y'all know I can't stand when folks to be in meeting talking just all day. I be like, Lord, please help me, girl, because it's a lot. Just talking for no reason. Brian Tracy even says, and you know, he is the king of productivity. He says, if someone walks in your office, some of you all might still be quarantining, but people that are back in the office, stand up and act like you're going to the bathroom and walk and talk to them. You know, the conversation only can last up into the bathroom. And then if they're still talking, you be like, oh girl, I really got to go. You know, like we can talk about that later. I'll come to your desk, you know, or I'll call you or whatever, just to speed up the conversation. So you're in control when that person leaves. How we really, it's a disservice for us a lot of times, is we think that we don't have a lot of time. And that's not true. We have enough time to do what it is that we say we want to do when we're able to do it. We have the time. It's how we spend it. It's how we use it. You know, number 4. Another trait is quiet gate. Let me sip on this one. Quiet gate. I'm gonna explain. Michael Goldsmith said, a lot of times we go around trying to add value, but what we're really doing is trying to show off. This convicted me, got me together. He said, a lot of times we go around trying to add value, but what we're really doing is trying to show off how smart we are, all the things we know. So he said, when somebody comes to you with an idea, okay, when somebody comes to you with an idea, and you say that's a good idea, but you should also do this. Okay, so you tell them all these things, they write them down and they go do it. He says now the person is really only committed to 50% of the idea, because the other 50% is you. It's like we snatched their joy a little bit. Like, I didn't want to do that and this and that and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to do what I told you. So wise leaders not only share their wisdom, but a lot of them are able to discern when it's time for them to just listen and support. A lot of leaders share their wisdom, but a lot of them are able to discern when it's time for them just to listen and support. Like, I don't got no tips today. I don't got no advice today. We good. You good. I love the idea. Turn up, have a great time, you know, and let people be. Let them go and, you know, you spread the love of their idea, I guess, you know, and just sit back and not have to give your opinion. And really, that just free you up to go do what you want to do. Again, we trying to save time anyway as leaders, okay? So when somebody come and tell you their idea, know when it's time to support them, especially if they ask, and know when it's time to just sit back, shake your head, support them, say great idea. So quiet gate is knowing when to hush. Knowing when to hush and listen and be like, okay. A lot of leaders, when I look across the room, when I was able to go to conferences and events, the people who made the most impact in a circle were always the ones not talking, because they want to grow and they already know what they know. So listening to other people, they're able to grow even more, because now they're getting more ideas from the people that's talking, if that makes sense. Number 5 and last one, Tony Robbins said, enjoy every moment that you're in right now, because it's the only one that's real. Enjoy every moment that you're in right now, because it's the only one that's real. The moment that we're sitting in right now, as you're listening to this podcast, it's the only moment that you're in. It's the only moment that you can participate in. Yes, we should visualize for the future. Yes, we should read to continue to grow. Yes, we should know when it's time for us to give our opinion and not all those things, right? We also should know when it's time to just take deep breaths. I know the Fitbit watch, I don't know if the Apple Watch does it, but on my Fitbit, it has a little thing where you can take deep breaths. And I think it's like 2 minutes. It's not even long. But sometimes I just sit and take deep breaths. Like, thank you for this day. Like, I get to breathe right now. I get to be present today. I get to enjoy this moment, right? Just taking that time to be present at work, be present with your kids, be present with your friends, even if y'all are meeting on Zoom or however. A lot of times, what's crazy is we live outside of time, because we're participating in the hopes of the future. We're discarding the moment we're sitting in. And all we're doing is, I'm trying to get to the next event. I'm trying to get to the next function. I'm trying to get to the grocery store. I'm trying to, like, it's like the next thing instead of, okay, right now I'm watching TV. I'm not thinking about nothing else. I'm not on social media and texting somebody and watching TV and trying to have a conversation. Okay, I'm gonna focus on this one thing, and this is what I'm doing right now. let me chill. Let me take a beat. Leaders know when it's time to sit and be still, or to enjoy whatever it is they're doing, whether it's cooking, whether it's pouring a glass of champagne, having a sip with your friends. Like, I'm a part of this moment and I'm enjoying this moment. Another show that I was watching on Modern Love, one of the actors said, tomorrow is a brand new day that has never been touched. Tomorrow is a brand new day that has never been touched. I thought that was so good. Y'all, when I'm supposed to be participating in the moment, I be taking notes. So this is one for me too. Okay. But he said, tomorrow is a brand new day that has never been touched. And most leaders learn that you aren't responsible for tomorrow. You're not responsible for tomorrow. You can't do anything with tomorrow. Only thing that you are responsible for and can work with is the moment that we're participating in, the moment that we're breathing in. So I ask that you all be present. And leaders who are wealthy know when to be present in a conversation, know to be present in certain business deals. If your mind's somewhere else and you about to sign $1 million contract, child, that's your fault you didn't read that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's certain things that we can learn right now where we are. And that's to be present, to know when it's time to be participating in quiet gates, okay? Asking yourself, am I wasting time right now? Am I wasting somebody else's time? And how to navigate that little conversation. Also, the people who win are the people who continue. It's all about preparation. It's all about consistency. It's all about practice. It's the only thing that's going to move you forward is continuing, right? And reading more books. Get on that app, Libby. Put in your zip code and find your local library and start reading books that can be read to you. Like, that is the best part. Put in them headphones if you got people in your house, honey, and zone out for 20 minutes. Be like, okay. And you could be cooking listening to a book. That's all I have for you all today. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the SOULKATION podcast. Bye. Love you.
My hope is that your soul just went on a vacay, and you have tools that you can apply to your life today. For more in-depth tools, head on over to loganrenee.com. Also, if you have questions that weren't answered on this episode, email your questions to logan@loganrenee.com, and I'll answer them here on the show. I'll talk to you soon.